Welcome back. Shares of Brookfield Corporation, BN on the TSX, have risen by more than 50% over the past 52 weeks. And this morning, the company has issued fourth quarter results. For a close look at those numbers and the stock, we're joined by Christopher Ballard, Managing Director of Czech Capital Management. He's joining us from Mission Viejo, California. Chris, thanks a lot for joining us. What's your take on these numbers, and what do you look at primarily when Brookfield Corporation releases results? This is not really an earnings per share story in terms of what moved the stock. What are the key lines you go to?
There's a lot to look at when it comes to Brookfield Corporation. They have quite a few subsidiaries that are also publicly traded that we look at closely. One of their biggest ones is Brookfield Asset Management, which reported yesterday as well, and they reported fabulous numbers. So what we're looking at is distributable earnings from these businesses. We're also looking at the general net worth of Brookfield Corporation, how it grows over time. But yesterday, when Brookfield Asset Management reported, which I had a chance to dive into those numbers a little bit more, you're able to see that they were raised about $135 billion of new capital that they're able to deploy. When Brookfield Asset Management deploys this capital, they earn higher rates of return than other subsidiaries do. And so it's really accretive to the bottom line for Brookfield Corporation. When they also raise these assets, they can sit on them for quite a while before deploying them, so they can almost time the growth story for the parent company as a whole. And they've been growing 15 to 20% annualized now for quite a while, as they did again last year. And Brookfield Asset Management now manages more than $1 trillion. They are a global leader in investment in infrastructure and all different aspects of renewable energy across the world. And so, yeah, they're actually on pace. We're looking at $2 trillion under management really being the next goal. But we also look at other aspects of like AI, which is the big news these days. They partnered with France just last week. The news came out that Brookfield Corporation is going to make a $20 billion investment with France on their AI infrastructure. And just last week, France had their AI conference that was really well televised. So they have aspects of infrastructure, renewable energy, real estate, data centers. There's a lot to look at with Brookfield across the board, but we're pleased with their numbers. They're continuing to buy back stock, which is important to us as shareholders, as really long-term shareholders, and they're increasing their dividend. They just announced a 13% dividend increase as well. So all those aspects are kind of what we're looking at to make sure that they're firing on all cylinders, which they really are. You're going to be hard pressed to overstate how much of a global leader that Brookfield is across various segments all over the world, and they are rapidly growing. They don't seem to be stopping anywhere in the near future.
Just to reference a couple of those lines you mentioned in this morning's Brookfield Corporation results, distributable earnings came in at $1.6 billion US. That was up 23% from the same quarter in 2023. And the company said it ended the quarter with a record $160 billion US of capital available to deploy into new investments. To what degree do the numbers at one of the subsidiaries, like Brookfield Asset Management, signal what we may see at the parent Brookfield Corporation?
Yeah, they're signaling a lot of success, but beyond that, they're actually delivering the success. So the Wealth Solutions numbers is some of what you just covered there. They are growing that very rapidly. Wealth Solutions made some acquisitions last year, including American Equity Insurance Investments, where they were managing about $100 billion. Now, like you're mentioning, $160 billion. That distributable earnings has doubled year over year. They're at a run rate right now to have about $1.6 billion of distributable earnings, like you mentioned, and it looks like they're growing at about 15% right now. So they're not far off from $2 billion of distributable earnings. The assets that they have acquired were getting lower rates of return across the board, because that's insurance companies typically are very conservative with how they go about investing. But Brookfield Corporation, the parent, is so big that they can deploy the capital in a more aggressive manner, and historically have had much higher rates of return. So as they get new assets and they deploy those assets into higher rates of return, it just makes this compounding machine grow that much faster. Well, that's very important to us. It's actually one of the main things we're looking at right now, and it's actually super exciting. They don't really seem to be slowing down in that segment at all, and they're leaning into it with more and more acquisitions. Also, outside of that, when it comes to like global infrastructure, they made a purchase from American Tower where they bought 67,000 telecom towers in India. So, in India, if you're going to get telecom service, a lot of that's going to be coming from a wholly owned subsidiary of Brookfield Corporation as well. Also, with Microsoft is building out AI infrastructure across the United States, and it takes a lot of energy to power these sort of these sort of models. And Microsoft is partnering with Brookfield on a $10 billion investment to use Brookfield's renewable energies, because Microsoft wants to use clean energy when they're using these new AI infrastructures. So just a couple other components outside of just the wealth solutions aspect, but which we're very familiar with and love how they're deploying their capital.
Chris, thanks a lot for joining us on this today.